So some years back, I was searching, I was awakening, but yet not awakening enough for my well-being or feeling balanced. And I woke up one morning with a mad migraine per usual and just physically sick and just completely out of alignment, but had an awareness that I wanted to shift. And I was, had some books I was reading. I'd seen somebody for hypnotherapy and EFT, and everything I was doing was just not enough. It was not enough, and I needed something more. So I woke up that morning and I was pissed. I was pissed that I was in a life that was so miserable, because I had an awareness that I knew life was could be better than what it was. So I got up that morning and I just stood in my power and I just prayed and I demanded that I be given something that was stronger, that could bring me out of where I was into where I want to be. And I had never prayed with such conviction before. And I didn't just ask. I said, I need this. Because if I don't have something more, then I don't want to keep living this life, because I don't want to live this miserable life when I'm searching. So I'm open to finding ways to live better. So that day I had my little conviction prayer, and then I went about my day, and I went to an expo, a psychic expo that I had never been to before. I didn't know anyone going. I just decided, all right, I just want to go here. So when I was at this expo, there was a bunch of free classes, and I ended up in a class that I wasn't planning on going to, but I had an awareness enough to know, interesting, I'm here. I didn't choose to be here beforehand, but I'm noticing that it feels right to be here. And the class was about a spiritual DNA activation, which is now called the life activation. And I sat in the class and watched the woman set the energies of the space, and I kind of I was curious, but yet judgmental of what the heck is she doing in this space. And then she started talking about the life activation and how one person in the class would win a free life activation because she needed someone to demo. And I just kind of went back into prayer, and I was like, okay, if this is what you brought me here for, allow her to draw my name. And she drew my name. And I already knew she was going to draw my name, even though I didn't understand what a spiritual DNA activation was. So I was part of this demo of the class where she went through the steps of part of the session. And connecting with her and getting this life activation done along with other healing modalities was the turning point of my awakening, because I was searching, I was becoming more conscious, but I was conscious enough to know that I was really freaking miserable and I needed something more. And what the spiritual DNA activation does, it aligns you with your life purpose. It goes in there and sends light to your codons, which are connected to different aspects of you. And I've been doing this session for, I think 4 or 5 years now. And I've seen people shift overnight from getting this session, although the energies integrate over time. It's different than getting a Reiki session or any type of other chakra balancing. It's a session where you're standing and sitting throughout the session. And it's a lot of balancing and removing things in the etheric fields. We have all this stuff in our aura that is sometimes holding us back. And having it removed all of a sudden life is easier. I've seen people completely shift overnight with depression and anxiety. I've heard people say that they have better body image, they're suddenly eating better, they have better relationships. If you have relationships in your life and you're trying to change that person and you're like, why don't they just change, just make their life easier? start by shifting you. You know, I hear this from a lot of people that get the life activation, that when they receive this session, their relationships are easier, right? So if you want to change a situation, you got to change yourself. So shift that energy within you, and I guarantee you you're going to see a difference in how you relate to people. I've also recently heard that someone was connecting to animals better, and animals were more drawn to her. Just overall more clarity with the direction of life, direction of where they're going. This session is not just, I mean, it's something that is good to get done a few times a year. And I look at it like a kickstart in the right direction. You know, when Reiki is great, but when Reiki is not enough to really get deep healing, getting a session like this can allow you to receive other energy healing. If you get other energy healing, allow you to receive that on a deeper level and help you to shift even more. Part of the session, I also give some tinctures that you take in the morning, in the evening, to really help integrate the energy. You take it over the next month after the session. So it is much different than any other type of energy healing. Even if you've never had a session before, this is a great place to start. It's a great place to start if you're really looking for empowerment and healing. So if this piques your curiosity at all, let's set up a session. I look forward to seeing you soon.